Eunice Mbarga, the correspondent from Nigeria. Keep watching YALI TV.
I'm Adekola from Sierra Leone. Keep watching YALI TV.
My name is Absa Samba, a correspondent from the Gambia. Keep watching YALI TV.
I'm Milam Leticia, correspondent from Cameroon. Keep watching YALI TV.
I believe in you.
It's your boy, Eko Boche, corresponding from Ghana. Keep watching YALI TV.
I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African soldiers. Young African soldiers. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African leaders. Young African leaders.
Good afternoon. It is 13:50 from Accra, Ghana, and you are welcome to the second section of the YALI Roundtable Dialogue Series with YALI TV. It's all about the 10 years anniversary of YALI, and it is so exciting to know that you and I are not alone on this journey. We are over 21,000 alumni that have been trained by the Mandela Washington Fellowship or the Regional Leadership Program, and we have more than 650,000 and still counting young Africans who have dedicated their lives to be the next phase of Africa's leadership to ensure that from governance to business management, public administration, entrepreneurship, and a civil society will not be left out. So many industries are actually experiencing the rigorous effects of this leadership tenets that we have learned, the ethics that have been imbibed by the training programs, either by IREX or the regional leadership centers across the continent. Special thanks to the U.S. Embassy in Ghana, Ambassador Sullivan, and the public relation team. Special thanks to Rookie and Liz, and also special thanks to the YALI Network, especially to Louis in the U.S., Washington. Thank you very much for your support in informing the YALI Network about this program. And we can assure you that the YALI professional will never remain the same after these 12 sections that we'll be having in the next, let's say, 6 days. Earlier on, we had the health or the educational segment, which was moderated by Ethel and Komlagan from Accra, Ghana. We will be having the health segment right now. And I just want to welcome you. If you're a health professional in the YALI network, it's very, very interesting. It's going to be interesting. So be interactive with us. Drop a message in the live stream feed and also share the link with a friend to join us because you are live on YALI TV. You can also watch this segment on www.yalitvonline.com and also on Facebook Live. Without much ado, I would love to introduce you to the segment altogether. The health segment is going to be highlighting on the topic COVID-19, the hard implications for young Africans and the opportunities to be salvaged. COVID-19 is definitely a health challenge that has really ravaged the continent and also the whole world as a whole. And as young Africans, we have had different challenges. Some have had psychological challenges, some have had medical challenges who have been affected by the virus. There has been stigmatization. There have been various challenges. Looking at this challenge in the window or through the lens of the SDG goal number 3, which talks about health and well-being, I and a team of doctors who are YALI professionals and a special guest are going to be talking on the issues. I'll introduce to you our special guest speaker who is so passionate about youth education, is passionate about leadership as well. He is in a person of Dr. Sam Jacobs-Abbey. He's joining us all the way from the United States of America, and he is giving us a keynote speech. Dr. Sam, if you are on, I would love you to take it up.
Dr. Sam, if
you are
ready now, we'd love you to go ahead. So Dr. Sam is a public health policy advisor. He is also very enthusiastic about leadership. So if Dr. Samuel Jacobs-Abbey, if you are ready, we'd love you to take it over.
Sure. Thank you very much. Can you hear me very well?
You're loud and clear.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Selassie, for inviting me to speak. I'm very grateful. So just a quick introduction of myself. Like he rightly said, my name is Dr. Samuel Jacobs-Abbey. I hold a PhD in public health policy. I work with the Jacobs-Abbey Global Institute for Leadership Studies as both an adjunct and also as executive director for the Jacobs-Abbey Global Institute based in Washington, D.C. Area here in the United States. Because I know we are want of time, I will go straight into my presentation, and then we can ask some questions when need be, just to ensure that all other sectors have been covered. So once again, to the larger audience, I say good afternoon to you in Ghana and the rest of West Africa and Africa at large. But here in the United States, it is good morning. It's about 9:56 a.m. here. I am privileged to be called upon to deliver the keynote address in commemorating 10 years of the Young African Leaders Initiative Professional Roundtable Dialogue Series on the survey. Well, in attempt to address the topic, I will do my best to tie the theme in accordance to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 3, which is ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages, and also try to tie it to the SDG number 17, which is revitalizing the global partnership for sustainable development. And then I will try to conclude my presentation just a little to talk about the effort of young people and how young people can become agents of change, especially in this critical moment of our lives. So let's roll. The coronavirus outbreak is that a hidden toll on the young people all over the world, and it has either shaped our values or harmed our health. Because young people have faced many calamities, and I'm sure all of you listening to me or watching me around the world will attest to the fact that young people have faced many disparities, including but not limited to youth marginalization, youth disempowerment. You're talking of underemployment, youth exploitation, and all that. But I can assure you that in spite of all that the young people have dealt with in the past, one of the most devastating calamities that young people or young professionals had to endure, like all other persons on earth, is the issue of the most recent global pandemic called COVID-19. I'm sure, again, all of you will appreciate the fact that this virus has struck young people all over the world harder than it's expected. Why? In fact, I strongly believe that the earlier misconceptions might have played a pivotal role in young people being impacted with the virus. Now, the casual attitude of young people towards the coronavirus in itself was at odds with the reality of what doctors sees. If you talk to doctors all over the world, you will understand that that misconception of young people being immune to the virus, I don't know where that thought came from, But of course, because this virus is a new thing that everyone is studying, it's day in, day out, new data comes out. But it's interesting to know that about 1 in 5 people hospitalized for COVID-19 infections are between the ages of 20 to 44 years, according to a recent analysis by the U.S. Centers for Disease and Prevention. So more than 1 in 8 of the young people were admitted to either intensive care units, according to the CDC. And this is where I think that the problem was that most people consider lower risk as no risk. But for the purpose of this presentation, it is important for young people to come to that understanding or to come to that realization that young adults are not immune to coronaviruses. Lower risk should never be confused as no risk at all. And this is the reason why I want to challenge young people to take good care of themselves, because it is often said that young people are the future of nations. Well, I have always had the opinion that young adults or young professionals are partners in nation building. Therefore, they need to take care of themselves and not fall to those fallacies in order for them to uphold and handle situations that comes their way. I'm sure all of us will also agree with me that we have begun to see the devastating economic and health impact of the corona pandemic across the world. Millions of young people have lost their jobs, and many businesses have closed across the countries, have shut their doors indefinitely. It may also interest you to know that these challenges have had to an increase to substance abuse all over the world, not only in the United States or in some selected part of the world, but majority of places, it turns out that the substance abuse have gone up. And guess what? When substance abuse goes up, majority of young people are associated with substance abuse. I hope those following me appreciate where I'm going, because we are looking at the energies and the well-being of young people. That is why the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 3 meant to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being at all ages. Now, the global pandemic like coronavirus is a reminder to all the nations to strengthen the capacity of their system, and particularly in developing countries, for early warning, risk reduction, and management of national and global health risks. In as much as the world knew about viruses and pandemic, COVID-19 took the world by storm. Until now, the world is still battling the surge. Many people are still affected, and many have not recovered.
Right.
Secondly, the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 3 also recommended that there is a need for support for research and development of vaccines and medicines for the communicable and non-communicable diseases that primarily affect developing countries. Provide access to affordable essential medicines and vaccines. Now, I brought this up because it's very interesting to know that majority of Africans depends on herbal medicine for their well-being, and it's surprising to realize that it looks like either countries, the United Nations, the World Health Organizations, the World Bank, have not invested that much into research and development in the area of herbal medicine. Because if about 70% of Africans depends on herbal medicine, Then the question is, why is it that the World Health Organization only have about 2% of its budget allotted for research and development in the area that I am describing? So that is the reason why, as part of my call to action, that young people should press their governments to push the idea of herbal medications and traditional health initiatives. After all, it's a research. If it works, so be it. The world is testing different vaccines for the COVID-19, but it's surprising to know that no substantive vaccine is being considered in the context of traditional herbal medicines. It's an area that needs to be explored. And so I wouldn't dwell much, but it's because of want of time. But I would call on young people to push their governments to take a second look into that. Remember, I talked about the SDG 3. Now, let me tie this to SDG number 17 so that I'll wrap up so others can also speak. Now, the SDGs can only be realized with strong global partnership and cooperation. As we all know, the 17 does encourage exactly that, because the reason is that, once again, the corona pandemic has proved that we are each other's keeper. The virus has no respect for boundaries, demography. It cuts across every sector. And so if Ghana decided that they want to be very, very proactive in handling the COVID-19 crisis, but the neighboring country like Togo or Liberia or Ivory Coast decided not to, the effort of Ghana would be rendered useless because of the global partnership. But if we come together with our energies, we are able to fight this pandemic to the extent that a successful development agenda, as we all know, requires that it requires an inclusive partnership, both at the global level, regional level, national level, and even at the domestic level. This helps us build upon the principles and values and a shared vision of goals, placing people and the planet at the center. And so my ask at this important 10th anniversary celebration is that strong international cooperation is needed now more than ever to ensure that countries have the means to recover from the pandemic, build back better, and achieve a sustainable development goals. Now, finally, let me turn my attention to young professionals who are listening to me all over the world. We are all either champions of change or victims of circumstances. You can't sit on the fence. You have a responsibilities. It is a simpler manner of personal and collective choice. If we are to change the world and make it a better place for our children and our children and our children's children, we must begin that process within changing ourselves and our thinking. Our best thinking is what has created our reality. And like Albert Einstein once said wisely, no problem can be resolved by the same consciousness that created it. Once we transform our own thinking, only can we expand it to include and involve others. This is where I call to action young people, young professionals, those who have participated in the Nelson Mandela Foundation program and all that. I've heard people say, but I'm only one person. What possible difference could I make? Well, the question I have for you is that, was Nelson Mandela not a one person? How about Martin Luther King? How about Gandhi? How about great men who have turned their countries upside down by standing for something? They transformed themselves into champions of change, and they have changed the world. And so today I want to call upon all young people listening to me around the world It is time for us to come together, to fight together, and to see that change that we have always aimed for. And by so doing, we will become agents of change. We will defeat the global pandemic called coronavirus, and we will bounce back our countries, our economics will rebound, and the health of our nation will be revitalized. Once again, I thank all of you for listening to me, and Selassie, I hand over back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow, that was a tremendous speech, and you touch on a number of salient points which we'll have a revisit to once we take the initial statements of Dr. Adekola Adeyemi. Dr. Adekola Adeyemi is a YALI fellow. He is a molecular scientist based in Nigeria. He is so passionate about research, so I know that the issues that you're raising, he's going to talk about it. He's very passionate about research, genomics, cancer research, global health and leadership, and human resource management, as well as pragmatic innovation. So without much ado, I introduce to you Dr. Adeyemi, all the way from the big brother of Africa in Nigeria. Dr. Adeyemi.
Hi. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You're loud and clear.
Thank you. All right then. So my name is Adekola Adeyemi. I'm a physician and a molecular scientist. I graduated from the University of Ibadan a little while ago, and I have a master's in molecular medicine and human genomics from the University of Sheffield, UK. So it's a privilege, honestly, to be on this platform to be discussing COVID-19 and the hard implications on young Africans, and more importantly, the opportunities that exist. There was a word used on the flyer, and that's the opportunities we can salvage. That word hit me wrongly. I don't think we're trying to salvage anything here. The opportunities here are immense, and we'll grab the bull by the horns and exploit it to the last. Anyways, we've spent about 10 months at home in lockdown, listening to news every day about, COVID-19, the pandemic. Just a quick review here. The disease COVID-19 is caused by a virus. That's the SARS-CoV-2 virus. And it was discovered in Wuhan, China. And currently now, it's all over the world. It's a new virus. So we are learning every day as far as this infection is concerned. We would have heard on the news, the WHO at some point would say this about the virus. Then by the next day or next week, they retracted their statements and they are saying something else. And everyone is confused. Everyone should calm down. It's a new virus. It's a new disease, the likes of which have never been seen before. Scientists are working round the clock to understand this. Physicians and healthcare workers are working around the clock to contain this. And we need to exercise a little more patience, actually, as far as understanding the virus is concerned. Now, over the course of 10 months, over 40 million people have been infected, over 1 million deaths, and in Africa precisely, more than 1.6 million Africans have been affected or infected with the virus. And every single age group is implicated. And I'm very, very happy with what Dr. Jacobs-Abbey mentioned earlier, that young people actually constitute a very significant percentage of those people affected. And there's this concept of the asymptomatic carrier, which is someone who is infected with the virus, but isn't showing any signs or symptoms of the disease. So they are showing no symptoms. Such people would think they are fine, but then they are capable of infecting other people with the virus. And it seems like young people are actually a very, very significant carrier of this thing, because they feel they are fine, they go partying, and then they bring the virus home back to their parents, their elderly parents, who might even have comorbid conditions that make the infection worse. So we as young people, or Africans to be precise, have a very big role to play as far as quelling the spread of the virus is concerned. More importantly, or before I proceed, let's just quickly get some things straight. Who exactly is a young person? I think we have an idea who a young person is, but according to UNICEF, a young person is anybody, any child up to the age of 18. According to the United Nations, it's anyone between the age of 15 and 24 or 15 and 32. But then, according to the African Youth Charter, a young person is someone aged between 15 and 32, according to the African Youth Charter. So that comprises a very wide range of people, because teenagers are involved, adolescents are involved, and over 30s, the plus gang, they are also youths. So we are many. Let me just that we are many, and many people who probably don't think they are youths are actually youths. Even over 30s are considered youths in this case. And let me just quickly slip in here. Those who are young at heart too, you are youths. Thank you. So we young people we are many, just like I said, and we have a huge role to play, and no one should be hiding in the shadows thinking that they have no voice or they have no impact. Actually, you do. You might not know it, but you do. And this pandemic has actually hit us really hard, especially in Africa. It's not news that, where many nations in Africa are developing nations, and we do not have very solid healthcare structures, and we have a plague that is affecting every single African nation, which is bad leadership. So when COVID-19 came, meeting all of these weak structures and everything, everyone thought Africa is doomed. In fact, after a few weeks that the virus had been ongoing on the continent, the news we were hearing from developed nations was, why aren't Africans dying as much as we thought they would die? Why isn't the virus spreading as much as we thought it would spread? The truth is, the virus did spread. People did die. If you look at the statistics, the fatality rate worldwide is about 2.5%, meaning of every 100 people that catch the virus, about 2.5 people die. In Africa, it's almost the same, about 2.4%. So indeed, the virus is ravaging us, but not as much as people would have thought. The reason for that, at this point, I cannot explain, honestly. Even scientists are dumbfounded. They cannot even explain what's going on. So in a few weeks or months, I hope, or I believe, some answers will start to emerge. Now, speaking about the implications of COVID-19, during the pandemic of 10 months in Nigeria, the things I saw with my own eyes are that, one, a lot of people, young people precisely, had limited access to healthcare. In fact, it was rumored that some hospitals, out of fear of the unknown, were not even attending to patients. I'm not even talking COVID-related illnesses now. I'm talking people who are probably hypertensive, diabetic, pregnant women who have come in labor, all of those things. It was a mess. You understand? Young people were obviously not left out in this issue. And of course, the economic downturn in many countries, the lockdown did affect the economy badly. So some governments try to pay palliatives to the people just to keep the people going, at least feed them and the like. But the kind of bad leadership we have, I dare say more than 50% of all those proceeds went into private pockets, and the people are still left stranded. And one of the things that hit young people the most is their education was disrupted, which is really, really, really sad. Some people try to fight this by moving education online, but that's only the rich and privileged, actually. And not even all of them can afford to switch to online learning, because you cannot leave a teenager all by themselves to just learn online. There's so many distractions online. I hope we all know that. So you still need parent supervision and all of that. So education is severely disrupted. Many public schools now have not reopened. And even those that have opened have put up some kind of system that doesn't really make much sense, and learning is severely disrupted. Another thing that affected young people the most is the loss of structure, guidance, and protection. Schools do protect kids, especially the female child. Right now, with everyone at home and just living with parents, friends, and extended family and the likes, they are actually exposed to a lot of domestic violence, and we've even heard of incidents of rape. I was chatting with a colleague of mine who's in Liberia, YALI fellow himself, and he was talking about how the incidence of rape has skyrocketed in Liberia because of the lockdown. So this pandemic is really hitting young people very, very hard. And of course, young people who have businesses which have been affected with the economic downturn. But at the same time, loads of opportunities exist. And this is the part where my heart lights up, because these opportunities, one would never have thought they existed if not because of the pandemic. First and foremost, with reference to Dr. Jacobs-Abbey, the very first I'll make is that some of the opportunities that exist is it has given us the opportunity to
opportunities in your supplementary statements.
All right. Okay.
Very, very salient point you raised. I mean, if you are still watching us, you are live on YALI TV, and this is section 2, which is a health segment of the YALI Professional Roundtable Dialogue series. This series is basically to bring together professionals in the YALI Network, vis-a-vis connecting them to captives of industry, some established Africans, either on the continent or in the diaspora, to speak on some of the issues that relate to our industries. And we have right now Dr. Samuel Jacobs-Abbey from the United States of America, who is a public health policy advisor. And then we have also Dr. Adeyemi Adekola from Nigeria, who is a YALI professional. So, stating the various issues that you have raised over the past minutes, we're going to use the next few minutes to discuss opportunities that we can salvage. We have Dr. Sam Abbey, who is in the United States. I keep getting the name well. So Dr. Jacobs-Abbey, who is in the United States, who is a public health policy advisor. And then we have you, who is a researcher and a molecular scientist. What are some of the opportunities that have been exposed to us as Africans? For instance, is this not an opportunity for Africans to have a research institute that begins to research into current diseases, past ones, and preparing for future pandemics? It is not also an opportunity for, as Dr. Abbey said, or Dr. Samuel said, why is Africa not taking advantage of having herbal medicine, just like the Chinese have, that answers the challenges of cancer, the challenges of pandemics like COVID-19? I was speaking to a colleague. I was like, do we have laboratories that, if we have biochemical attacks on the continent, that we could quickly visit the lab and have antidotes just to answer them? So I'll throw this question to both of you in the next few minutes. Let's see, what are the opportunities we can take advantage of right now that this pandemic has exposed some cracks in our systems, our healthcare systems? What advantages can we take of this? How can we submit the opportunity? Dr. Sam.
Well, thank you so much. Well, to begin, I would say that it's not only in Africa. In fact, when the storm of this COVID hit the world, the entire globe wasn't ready for it. One would have thought that, for instance, the United States, which considered itself to be the global power with all the resources available to its citizens, should by now be leading this whole effort. But the least said, the better. Almost 220,000 people are dead in the last 7 months here in the United States. And so the COVID in itself presents an opportunity for us, particularly those with the African descent, in several ways. Now, in Ghana, for instance, they have the Noguchi Institute. The question one will ask is that, what is the mandate of the institute? Now, how come in about 7 months into this COVID-19 situation, the institute has not partnered with other leading institutes, other research institutes, to come out with a proposal? You see, everything begins with a step. You do a proposal. Of course, there are big pharma institutions that will kick against anything good from Africa, but that should not stop us from trying.
From making that attempt.
My point is, let's connect with other research institutes in Africa, in Uganda, in Tanzania, in Nigeria, in Sierra Leone, in Guinea, because until, you see, let me tell you, until the African leadership come to that realization that we cannot do it alone, because we don't have the resources. The needs of the one African country is completely different from the other, and so until we synergize our energy, what is the role of the African Union? What is the role of the ECOWAS in raising the awareness? Because awareness is important, and then the basic steps to initiate. And so I think that the COVID-19 has provided great opportunities, and it's up to leadership to take that opportunity. One thing I will say again is this. I mean, I live almost 7,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean, but I'm talking to the world right now. I'm talking to you in Ghana. I'm talking to Doug in Nigeria. It's an opportunity. In the past, you will either send me a ticket to come to Ghana, to come to BlueCrest College for this event, or you will put a doctor from Nigeria in a plane to come to physically be with you. But COVID has proved to us that, well, there are several opportunities we could take advantage of as young people to enhance ourselves. In spite of all my academic credentials, with COVID, I got an opportunity to study in Harvard because I don't have to physically be there. COVID gave me an opportunity to study online. So I will say that there are tons and tons of opportunities for young people in Africa, but leadership is needed. We need a paradigm shift of their thought process, and so that young people should desist from the idea of graduating from college and expect government to give them job. They can create job by themselves. There's thousands of opportunities that this pandemic has presented to the world, and I'm sure as Dr. chips in, I'll come out with additional area of recommendations if need be.
So, Dr. Adeyemi, Dr. Samuel just made mention of opportunities that we should salvage. In Ghana, we had a gentleman called Dr. Anthony Bassin, who came up with a test kit. Can we, as young professionals in the health sector in Africa, specifically in the YALI network, where there's some level of vast opportunities for resources to be salvaged through partnership, because he mentioned SDG goal number 70, we talks about partnership for the goals. Can we begin to utilize this vast network of number of professionals we have in research, in therapeutics, as well as in vaccine development and other areas of the health sector? Can we do something like that, Doc?
Yes, thank you very much. It's common knowledge that we can't do this by ourselves. A tree does not make a forest. So no matter how developed a country is, its strength still relies on its people, its human resources, not even its natural resources, its capital resources, its human resources. So I mean human capital. So we know this, and our governments know this. it would blow your mind if you Google how many research institutes, therapeutic industries actually exist in this on this continent, or even the subcontinent, to be precise. We're talking universities with dedicated departments or faculties of pharmacy, therapeutics, and all of that. And how come these institutions do not produce world-class research that can compete with the likes of the US and the likes? See, there's something my people would say in Yoruba. They say "Obeto dun owolopa," meaning that a stew or soup that is sweet or delicious, guess what's behind it? Money. You know what? Somebody actually took money, went to the market, bought those things, cooked the stew, and everybody is saying, delicious. In a situation where just a very tiny percentage of the budget, national budget, is spent on education or health, what do you really think will come out of such a country? We have experts who are rendered useless in the country and have to go abroad and are contributing to the healthcare and to the education of another country. So our governments just need to spend more time, more energy, and more resources on research, healthcare, education. The truth of the matter is we actually have experts. We have people who have used their own hard-earned money to go study abroad, and they're looking for places to be relevant. What is wrong with our governments? Why don't they just use these people? These institutes already exist.
The hard fact, Dr. Adeyemi, the hard fact here is this: the various challenges are so obvious for us to know, which is why, by kind courtesy of the United States government, we have YALI, the leaders of tomorrow, or the leaders of today getting ready for tomorrow. So, as we close this segment, I would love us to drive home in the next 1 minute each strong points of what should we do leaving this roundtable dialogue. What should we do in 60 seconds or 70 seconds? What should we do? What should YALI professionals do? You are here. Dr. Bassin is from Ghana. Dr. Eddy from Nigeria. We have Yorro Cham from the Gambia. We have Dr. Nicole from Cameroon. We have Dr. Sam from the United States, who has obviously a vast knowledge of information in public policy drafting. What should we do leaving this meeting that will make us salvage this gap and turn it into an opportunity?
Well, if I will go, I will tell you that the most important thing is priorities. Let's set priorities. Let's know what is important and do accordingly, because it is the only way by which you are able to use, like Dr. Adeyemi said, the energies of the qualified people to achieve a targeted goal. If you just leave it ajar, everybody comes in, do a little of it and goes away. But when there is a national strategy and there's a national policy, see, policy is everything. It drives everything. So I think for want of time, I'll end there.
Dr. Adeyemi, your last burning points.
Well, my last burning point is a couple of points, actually, but I'll run through them. First and foremost, just like Dr. Jacobs-Abbey has mentioned, there's an opportunity for us to change the way we think. And as young people, this is an opportunity for us to lead and drive change. A lot of the innovation and a lot of the things that are happening, the new things happening right now, are actually driven by youth. When the pandemic started in Nigeria, you'd see people come up with apps, how to track the virus, how to do this, how to do that, how to keep tabs on, statistics and all of that. It's driven by young people. So let the skills fall from our eyes. Open your eyes, look around. You see young people doing amazing things. You can do it too. That's a very, very important point. Let's stop this learned helplessness that African youths have sort of internalized. Many African youths are doing amazing things. You can do the same. Also, during this pandemic, we've come to appreciate what online learning can do. See, if your government will not give you scholarship to study abroad, there are tons of low-cost courses that one can do from reputable universities all over the world. Please log on or log in and start to earn your certificates, for God's sakes. In the end, when your government sees that you are qualified or even overqualified for certain roles, you would start to see how these opportunities line up for you. But do not wait for anyone. Just hop on this train. You'll be better for it. And most important, another thing I'd like to mention now is when it comes to funding, the internet has provided opportunities for us to crowdfund now. Rather than wait for government, write proposals to government bodies and government agencies that would never even open the proposal or probably even throw it out the window. These are opportunities for us to network amongst ourselves, YALI professionals, YALI fellows, and even those who haven't even attended YALI, ordinary people out there. We can network as young people and crowdfund. Let me quickly use this opportunity to mention the stuff going on in Nigeria. The whole NSARS and this and that thing. Everyone has learned that they have a voice. They can voice out their displeasure and they can make things happen. See people raising millions of naira online for the protests. People feeding one another, ambulance services, lawyers are being activated left, right, and center in the country. See, enough of the learned helplessness. The African youths have a lot of work to do, and we know that we can do this. So let's just sit up, honestly. The sky is just the starting point for us, really. The sky is the starting point, as long as we're ready to move. Yeah.
Dr. Jacobs-Abbey, thank you so much for joining us. We are very, very grateful. Dr. Adeyemi, thank you so much. We really appreciate. We're picking up feed from the Gambia as well to run up our health segment. We're running up in the next 20 minutes. So we'll pick our communique once my producer connects me as Dr. Jacobs and Dr. Adeyemi log out. Yorro Cham call from the Gambia is on standby to log in, and we also have Dr. Eddy from Nigeria also logging in right about now. We'll go for a quick break as we connect to these two health personalities, and we'll take it right from there.
I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa.
I'm Uwoghiren, the correspondent from Nigeria. Keep watching YALI TV.
I believe.
I'm Adekola from Sierra Leone. Keep watching YALI TV.
I believe in Africa.
My name is Samba, a correspondent from the Gambia. Keep watching YALI TV.
I'm Leticia, correspondent from Cameroon. Keep watching YALI TV.
I believe in you.
It's your boy, Uwoghiren Eddy, corresponding from Ghana. Keep watching YALI TV.
I believe in Africa. 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 I believe in you. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in you. Yeah. If we fall, we will rise again. Like the stars, we will shine again. We may cry, but we'll smile again. Africa will rise again. Yes, you can. Yes, I will. Fight my way through the storm. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. We're the children of the future. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. It's your time to take control. Take control. What are you waiting for? Mama, mama, mama. We did it. Yeah. Mama. Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in you. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African leaders. Young African leaders. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African soldiers. Young African soldiers. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African leaders. Young African leaders. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African soldiers. Young African soldiers. Yali, yali, yali. Young African leaders. Yali, yali, yali.
Working on
Young African soldiers. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in you. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in you. Yeah, mama, mama, mama. We made it. We made it. Mama, mama, mama. We made it. We made it. Mama, mama, mama. We made it. We made it. Yeah.
You are ready to go?
We made it. We made it. What's that?
Mr. Cham, we are ready to go.
Selassie, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. You are ready to go.
Okay, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So it is 14:42 GMT. We have just about some 18 minutes to run up today's segment, the first day of the YALI Roundtable Dialogue for professionals in the YALI Network, and it's been awesome. I'll remind you that this program has been supported ably by the United States Embassy in Accra, Ghana, with support from BlueCrest University College, from where YALI TV studios are situated, as well as Paragon Studios, a streaming and graphic service based in Accra, Ghana. I'm very sure during our YALI Made in Africa Expo that will be happening next week, you get to see some of these companies and how you can connect to them. Also, we have the support of the management team of YALI TV and also support from the YALI Network officials in Washington, D.C., United States of America. I have two health professionals, one from the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the person of Dr. Eddy Uwoghiren, and also I have all the way from the Gambia, Kaw Yorro Cham, also joining in. I would like you guys to use the next 60 seconds to introduce yourself briefly, and we'll get to the conversation. We've been having conversation on how we could salvage opportunities that have been brought in by COVID-19. A lot of people see it as a health catastrophe. They see it as a problem. People also see it as an opportunity to also exploit other people negatively. But as young African leaders, the future of the continent, we are looking at what opportunities can we salvage. So I put it to you, all over to you in the Gambia. Introduce yourself briefly and give us your opening statement, and then we'll come back to Dr. Eddy from Nigeria. Cham, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Selassie, and my co-panelist, Eddy. It's good to see you all. My name is Yorro Cham. I hope you can hear me.
You're loud and clear.
I am from the Gambia. I'm a YALI alumni or YALI fellow, RFC. I am currently implementing a project in the Gambia, different from the project that I had in mind when I was in YALI. It's called Every Child Counts, My Child Project. So that's the project I am working on currently.
digitizing electronic health records of children by using what we call smart paper technology. On the other side, I am also an entrepreneur. I have got my own social enterprise that deals in the making of body lotions that can serve as mosquito repellent as well in the country and beyond. I am a public health professional by training, and I am still working within the domain of public health in the Gambia with my partners from Schifo Foundation in Sweden. Thank you.
Awesome, Mr. Dr. Eddy. We want to know about who this young doctor is, and if you could introduce yourself, we'll be grateful. Dr. Eddy.
Okay, can you hear me?
Dr. Eddy, if you can hear us, the floor is yours. You're loud and clear. You're loud and clear.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Eddy Uwoghiren. I'm a YALI RSA alumnus. I'm from Nigeria. I'm based here in Nigeria. I'm an emergency health advocate, and I'm also a medical journalist. Currently, I'm working with the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, on COVID-19 response in my state, Edo State. I'm currently supporting them in a documentation project on what my state government is doing towards tackling the pandemic. And outside that, I'm also into emergency healthcare advocacy. I run a social impact project back home in my country, and we train persons in basic first aid skills to save lives and the confidence they need in approaching emergency. So that's all. Thank you.
Awesome. So we were discussing the implications of COVID-19 on the youth of Africa and the opportunity that it has presented. So I would like you to give us in some few minutes, in 2 minutes, well over maybe 120 minutes or 120 seconds, could you give us some of the opportunities YALI professionals, we YALI professionals coming together can salvage in this COVID-19 health pandemic? What are some of the things we can do from the perspective of public health? Kaw Yorro Cham, you could give us your perspective.
Thank you very much. It's an interesting question. Basically, like we all know, COVID-19 has brought itself upon us a huge challenge to adjust as young Africans. And I think the opportunities are there, part of which entails that we have to be innovative in our approach and thinking towards this particular pandemic. And some of the few opportunities we have is for so long we've been saying or crying out loud that Africa is ready for business, Africa is ready for innovative information technology systems. So I think this is the perfect opportunity for young Africans to go into the domain of information communication and technology. And by such, in extension, we should, as young Africans, upgrade our skills into the IT sector, coding, visual arts, visualizations. Within the healthcare domain, there are also opportunities where we can explore digitization of our medical records, because it's unfortunate that even though the world has moved on with electronic health records, Africa is still lagging behind. As I speak, there is no country in Africa that is implementing an electronic health record system or an electronic medical health record system on a national scale. Wow. In certain countries, they've been piloting so many different innovative solutions differently, and I can maybe my colleague from Nigeria can attest to this, that in each state you may have a different electronic health record system that is in place, that is helping to record cases of patients and things like that. So it is high time that young Africans rise up to that challenge and create tools or innovative solutions that can cover basically that domain within the healthcare service. In Gambia, we are trying to do something like that. I started this project in 2017 by digitizing the electronic health record systems, commencing with immunization services. And we received a confirmation from the Ministry of Health of the Gambia to scale this particular project on a national scale, so by December 2020. So we stand at a great advantage, the country Gambia, to be the first country in Africa to implement an electronic health system, electronic health record system on a national scale by using innovative tools such as paper, because we know the infrastructure in the Gambia is not in Africa is not ready to have electronic record systems. You need laptops, tablets, but we know across Africa we don't have that infrastructure to be able to have tablets or laptops or internet connectivity at all service delivery points. So to bypass that challenge, the solution that we are implementing, what we do is at service level, we let healthcare workers use papers, what we call smart paper forms, and they use that to capture data. And at their regional levels, then they scan that particular paper, and then we digitize it from that level, because we realized that at almost every regional level, there is adequate internet connectivity, electricity, and security. And that allows us to be able to digitize health records and move on. So I think the challenge for me is for young Africans to replicate this kind of a solution, this kind of a thinking, to use African ways of tackling Africa's problem, which is currently the limitations with regards to the infrastructure for information technology systems to thrive in Africa.
Dr. Eddy from Nigeria, since you are into emergency health response and health reporting, in the area of health reporting and emergency health, what opportunities can we salvage now that we know that when someone is sick, it takes a longer period to report to an emergency report system, to either have an ambulance and all that? What are some of the innovations that young people together can bring on board to salvage the gap that has been exposed by the COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay, thank you so much. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, so I think I will begin from the area of medical reporting. Basically, first thing, for young Africans that are very interested in medical journalism and medical reporting, I think COVID-19 presents us a whole huge opportunities to report on most of the underreported stories on Africa, on health issues in Africa, with focus on human interest stories. Like basically, because of the work I do with the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, every month I have to send a human interest story on COVID-19 response in my state. So one thing I always encourage young Africans that are interested in health reporting, health writing, and all the best, please, this pandemic, there are so many stories you can craft from this pandemic. Persons that have recovered from COVID-19. How about we get a summarized report about them and how they finally reintegrated into the society? I'm bringing such story from the human interest angle. It's going to be a very big one. And also, we also understand the fact that, African government has given us so much. They've given us data on how much they are spending in carrying out this response.
Right. And
it will also be very nice. We have a lot of investigative stories into how the money was spent. Many health workers in many of the health centers, we are not paid their dues we are not paid their stipends. And these are stories that should take up stage these are stories that should take up front page in national, in discourse, in newspapers, in television, even on social media. So COVID-19 on the medical reporting angle presents so many stories that we can write on. And there are many centers where up to date, staff still don't even have enough personal protective equipment. There are so many centers where staff are involved in dubious activity, stealing the drugs for patients and selling it in private pharmacies. These are stories that should be investigated. That's basically one. So secondly, for young Africans in the area of emergency health response, one thing that is peculiar in most African countries is the fact that I think apart from Ghana, I know Ghana has an emergency medical service, a national emergency medical service. Here in Nigeria,
I worked there for almost a decade.
Oh wow, almost a decade. Wow, that's nice. So I know Ghana has an emergency medical service, and imagine here in Nigeria. Let me start with my country. We don't have an emergency medical service. So for most health startups in the area of emergency health, one thing I think we need to do is to start galvanizing our effort and resources together and see how we can come up with private emergency medical service. We can replicate what the Ghana's government is doing and start up as young Africans back home in our country. There are a lot of funding available for persons in the area of health as regards COVID-19, coming up with a project proposal of the health project you're going to implement in the area of emergency health response building up an application that can connect people with health centers. And there are lots of funding. Okay, currently in my country, there's an ongoing protest on end police brutality, and this is mostly youths that are championing this project. And one thing that has been so unique is how these youths, end SARS, end SWAT, and end police brutality. These youths, within a space of 24 hours, came up with a call center where people can call in, anything they need, imagine anything related to the police protest. So anything related to the protest, be it they need food, there's insecurity challenge, or they need mental health checkup. And these were youth, young persons that came up with this within a space of 24 hours. And we have governments that have been in positions that have not been able to do stuff like this. So I think young Africans, if we can sit up and get something like this, come up with an emergency health response system where people can call in and they can connect them to hospitals. So for those of us in the area of emergency health, COVID-19 presents us a lot of opportunity, and also finally research opportunities too. There are so many things that we need to research on as regards COVID-19, be it quantitative and qualitative research. Like during the course of the pandemic, myself and some group of medical students at University of Lagos, we did a research to X-ray how Nigeria does not have an emergency medicine residency for medical doctors, and we are presenting it at the next African Emergency Medicine Conference in Kenya coming up next in November. And the reason why we did that research was, okay, with this, we are going to send a proposal to the various establishments to see how they can incorporate an emergency medicine residency. So I think, and we know if we have an emergency medicine residency, most of the deaths we have in Nigeria and in our countries would be reduced. So I think for most Africans, research opportunities is one thing young Africans should key in as COVID-19 pandemic is around the corner. Next, for those in the area of medical reporting, there are so many underreported health issues we need to tackle, bring them out from the human interest stories, human interest angle. And also for those in emergency health, you can just take a clue from what we are doing with the end SARS, with what Nigerian youths are doing with the end police brutality and end SARS protest. See how we came up with a call center within a space of 24 hours. And this is something I think we can do to champion emergency health in our countries. And also we can build up applications too. Thank you.
Wow. I'm so happy because YALI celebrating 10 years has given us the opportunity again to speak. These young men and women who have been talking over the past few minutes are all professionals, are young fellows, just like you and I, who have gone through training programs to become the next phase of Africa's leadership. These young men and women are contributing in many ways to establishing health, education, technology, construction, mining, and other industries. And today, we had the privilege of talking to a number of personalities. We spoke to Dr. Samuel Jacobs-Abbey from the United States, who gave his position on public health. We have Kaw Yorro Cham, a YALI fellow from the Gambia. We had Uwoghiren, Dr. Eddy Uwoghiren from Nigeria. We had Dr. Adekola from Nigeria, and we also had, we were supposed to have Dr. Nicole Mbarga from Cameroon, but she's also in the hinterland, so she had challenges with the internet, and we are so elated. Thank you so much to you for joining us. We really appreciate your support. Thank you to also Dr. Yakubu Yusuf. You also tried to connect, but we had challenges. Africa agenda. This is YALI TV. Special thanks to the U.S. Embassy for supporting us, the YALI Network at the Africa Bureau in the United States Department of State. Thank you very much to Paragon Studios for supporting us,
and also to the management of BlueCrest University College for giving us the studio here to transmit to you all who are watching us. And special thanks to my team, special thanks to Mr. Eric Nate, thanks to Caleb on the camera, thanks to our IT manager, Mr. Oh, come on, our IT manager.